Hey y'all, welcome back to the Great American Bake-Along. My name is Anna Simeonides. I'm the Ultimate Baker 2022 and owner of Tier Health Bakery. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make a white chocolate peppermint Swiss roll in honor of the new movie premiering Peppermints and Postcards. Let's get started. So to start out, we are going to mix our wet ingredients for the Swiss roll. We've got some water in here, some oil, our egg yolks, and then some vanilla extract. If you want to throw a little bit extra of this in there, I think you can never have too much vanilla extract. Then we're going to go ahead and give all these things a whisk together. So everything's combined nicely. And then we're going to go ahead and put in our mixer our egg whites and our sugar to go ahead and let that work up, because we're going to fold those in after we add in our dry ingredients. Back here, we go ahead and just add in my egg whites. You're going to want to go ahead and start the mixer and let the egg whites froth up a little bit before you add in your sugar. This will ensure that your egg whites don't deflate and you get that really nice, thick, puffy, stiff egg white. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and sift in our dry ingredients now. We're gonna add in our flour. It's very important that you sift it because this is a Swiss roll cake. You want it to have that beautiful, nice, light, airy texture with no lumps or anything. That way when you go to roll it, everything is just very cohesive. There's no cracking or anything like that. So we're gonna sift in our flour, our sugar, and then our baking powder and salt. And after everything is sifted in your bowl, go ahead and just give it a whisk. Again, you just want to make sure that you whisk this until it's smooth. You don't want any lumps. It's definitely going to be thicker because we're going to go ahead and add those egg whites in now. And that's going to help lighten everything up. Okay, so this is what you're looking for. It should almost be like a thick paste. This recipe is so fun and really delicious, but it definitely has a couple more steps than I think your average holiday big long recipe. So it's really good if before you get started, you go ahead and just measure out all your ingredients, have your mise en place, just kind of in place so that you are ready to roll. As you can see, we've achieved stiff peaks. That means that your egg whites are able to stand in your beater just so low. They look really good, nice and fluffy. Wow. So we're going to take that now and fold that into our batter. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. This step is super important. If something goes wrong, take the time to redo it, crack some new eggs. You really want to make sure that you have this nice stiff peak because that's going to allow a lot of air to incorporate into your Swiss roll and just give it that beautiful fluffy texture. Just melts in your mouth. Okay, and then we're just gonna fold it in. You don't wanna stir it. You just wanna do a folding motion. So over, under. We're gonna go ahead and put this into our jelly roll pan. I went ahead and lined mine with parchment paper. Make sure you grease the top really well. This will ensure that when you are ready to pop your roll out and put that paper off, it doesn't stick. So parchment paper is definitely a necessity for this recipe. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead now, just pour this straight in the pan. Something that's really amazing about this recipe too is that it only takes 12 minutes max to bake in your oven. So even though this seems like a really complicated, fancier recipe, You can pull it together quite quickly if you just have all of your ingredients ready. Okay, and then you're gonna go ahead and just spread it out. It's gonna be pretty thin by the time you spread it out completely over your tray. That's totally okay. Those egg whites and that baking powder is gonna allow it to have just a really nice rise. And it's just gonna be this delicious sponge roll. Okay, so just make sure you try and spread out as evenly as possible. This way, when you are rolling your cake up, it's not like uneven or thicker in some places than others. You really just want it to be really nice and even for that pinwheel effect when you cut into it. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and, so as you can see now, she's ready. We're gonna go ahead and pop this into the oven. 375 for about 12 minutes. Keep an eye on it. You might need 10 if your oven runs a little hot. Again, this is one of those recipes. Make sure you check your oven temp before you slide this in. This is a delicate cake and you don't want it to burn or over brown. That will make it very difficult when rolling. So we'll go pop this in the oven and be right back. So our cake is in the oven now and we are going to start prepping my favorite part, which is the white chocolate mousse filling. So good. Peppermint white chocolate mousse this time for the season. So we are gonna whip up our whipped cream first. Got that in the mixing bowl. Okay, we're gonna transfer that into this other bowl over here because now we're gonna put our cream cheese and our sugar in here. So I've got my mise en place ready. All my components are in place. So we're gonna go ahead and put our cream cheese in and our sugar. And we're just gonna beat those until they're nice and fluffy. So when you beat your cream cheese, just make sure you scrape down the sides of your bowl so everything's really nicely combined. And then we're gonna go ahead and add in our melted white chocolate. To melt this, you can easily do it in your microwave. I recommend doing it in 15-second increments and stirring it frequently to make sure that it doesn't burn and it melts evenly. Otherwise, if you don't have or use a microwave, you can do it on a double boiler on your stove. Okay, so now we're adding in all the good stuff. We've got our white chocolate. We're gonna go ahead and add in a little bit of our red food coloring. This is gonna give it that nice color to contrast the white of the roll, so it'll have that peppermint effect of the swirl. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some peppermint extract. That's to taste, so if you're not a huge peppermint fan, err on the side of lighter. If you love it, go all out. And then of course, our vanilla extract. Go ahead and get this back on the mixer. Okay, so it's all combined now. We've got our white chocolate in here, our cream cheese, our peppermint extract, our food coloring, our vanilla. As you can see, it's still kind of thick and chunky, and that's because we're gonna lighten it up with our whipped cream that we started with. Go ahead and just scrape that right in there. And then using that same technique we did for the Swiss roll, we're just gonna gently fold it in. We don't wanna stir it because we don't wanna deflate it or crush it. We just wanna incorporate it so there's some nice air. Let's see, I'm just kind of folding up and over. Scraping the bottom of the bowl to make sure we get everything in there. Okay, as you can see now, we've just got this nice fluffy white chocolate peppermint filling. It's gonna be perfect inside of our Swiss roll. Perfect timing, our Swiss roll just came out of the oven, nice and golden brown. We're now gonna go ahead, just set it down and cover it with a towel. This is going to allow it to retain its moisture while it has the ventilation to just go ahead and cool off a little bit. And then we're gonna flip it out of the pan and fill it with our peppermint white chocolate mousse filling. Okay, So go ahead and just run a knife around the edges to loosen our sponge cake from the sides of the pan. Take your piece of parchment paper, lay it on top of your board, and flip the whole thing over like this. Make sure it releases. Voila. And then you're just going to peel off that parchment sheet that was in your sheet tray before. Okay, so now's the fun part. We get to fill it with our delicious white chocolate peppermint filling that we made. Okay, and then we're going to take our little cake spatula and just go ahead and spread it evenly all over our sponge cake. There we go. Okay, and here's the fun part. It's a little intimidating. If it does crack, don't worry about it. You can just cover it with powdered sugar. It's totally fine. You're going to use your parchment to help you roll, though. So start off by just like folding in the front part. Just give yourself something to have some traction. Grip the edge of your parchment, and then you're just going to roll it right up. Let your parchment help you. And voila, there you have it. Go ahead and take a little bit of powdered sugar. You can dust the top. Perfect. Here we go. My goodness, look at that. So yummy and fluffy. Thank you guys so much for baking with me today. I hope you enjoyed making this white chocolate peppermint Swiss roll. I know that your families will enjoy eating it with you, and I hope that you tune in for the all-new Christmas movie, Peppermints and Postcards. See you next time.